Welcome to the Brown Spade Podcast Show. Today, we have some lovely sisters with us today. Sister Mo, how you doing?
Oh, her mic is off.
Oh, I'm
There we
good.
go.
All right. Sister Mo, you doing okay?
I'm great. How y'all doing?
All right. We got Sister Key with us. Welcome back.
Hello.
And of course, we got my brother from another mother, Brother Cleve.
What's going on? What's going on?
So before we get started, introduction. Okay. So everybody already been introduced. So let's get started.
Okay, introduction.
I like it. That's the first time seeing that intro.
Right. I'm like, okay.
I hope y'all like it.
We do. I do.
All right, that's what's up. Oh, okay. So today, for the people out here, to the guests out here, is men versus woman Q&A, just questions and answers. So whatever question pertaining man and woman is not necessarily directed particularly to the lovely ladies on the panel. We're just talking about men and women in general. So let's get started.
Ladies first.
Okay, Mo, you get the first question.
Let me think. I'm trying to think. I was trying to think of one all day. I'll start off with something lightweight, easy. Fellas. This one's to you guys.
Okay.
And I want to know, do you find yourselves, I know both of you are married, do you find yourselves able to have deep, raw, authentic conversation about any and everything with your spouses?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes.
Give me some examples of topics so I can know that y'all are really feeling what I'm saying. Because
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
I'll go ahead and go first.
okay.
Well, okay, you say raw, so I'm at first. Okay, but anyway.
Hot seat.
Yeah, so when she when we had a conversation about something of that magnitude, she probably asked me about your likes and dislike as far as intimacy in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you have to be honest at that point, because if you don't, then you're gonna be lying to yourself. You're gonna be frustrated, right?
Yeah.
They have to.
It sounds that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you have to say what you like, what you don't like, what is permitted, what is not permitted, because everybody couple is different. Every bedroom has its own set of rules.
Correct.
And I mean it's the same for me, but it's and I'm gonna be honest. It got to the point. Well, with me and my wife, it's a whole lot better. Now that I'm with somebody that expresses how she feels about me, regardless of whatever the situation, even if she's mad. And that's something I wasn't used to. If person mad, upset, most of the time, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to, be intimate or not. But no, with my wife now, no, that's not the case. She like, yeah, I'm mad at you now, but we gonna put that to the side.
She know how to separate.
We gonna
how to separate the sugar from
revisit that in the morning. We gonna revisit that in the morning.
She know how to separate the sugar from the shit.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, yeah. And that was something new for me because I'm like, okay, cool. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, that has nothing to do with A. Has nothing to do with B.
Right. Right.
Correct. However, like, have you both grown into that ability to express yourselves over the years, or do you feel like you always had it? You just didn't. It didn't flow well for whatever
Well,
reason.
for me, I've always been a very expressive type of person. I've always let you know exactly what I'm thinking, and sometimes that be like, it hurts people feelings because sometimes I could be too direct. But
Mhm.
um, I'm letting you know my thoughts, and to me, that means more than anything because now you know exactly where I'm coming from, and I'm not trying to like hurt feelings or anything like that. I'm just letting you know. Um, what it is that I desire or what it is that I would like. And I want you to share the same. Like I want you to be brutally honest with me as well. I think it goes both ways. It's not a one-way street.
And for me, I definitely I wasn't always, honest. I hold stuff in, and well, if I feel a certain kind of way, I say, you know what, I'm just gonna deal with it the way I know how to deal with it, and leave it at that. But with my wife, no, she wanted to talk about it, she wanted to speak on it, and I didn't. I got to the point where I trust her just with anything. Like I could tell her anything. I catch myself sometimes. I be like, I can't believe I just told her that, but hey, I mean for real, because we just talk so much. We have I trust her, with my thoughts. I trust her, just with any information I give her. Sometimes she'll give me a look like, huh? I'll be like, oh yeah, I mean, hey, this is just how I feel. And she'd be like, okay, I can respect that. I don't agree with it, but I can respect
But
it.
I can respect it.
And we and we
Right.
go
Exactly.
we go from there. So yeah, I had to grow into that more. I wasn't always like that.
Right.
No.
And then one more caveat on that is, are you finding yourself more expressive and vulnerable when it comes to things that don't have to deal with your mate? Like, black men have the weight of the world on them for various reasons, and like, can you show that side of you and still feel like the man or be the man in her
That's a
eyes?
good question. That's a good question. I'm working on that. I'm working on that because I don't, want to the thing about most men, we don't want to bring that, that pressure on you. We feel like we got shoulders, to carry, like you said, to carry all the weight. And I'm getting to the point now with just, confide in my wife and be like, hey, I know this is what's going on with me with my business. So this is what's going on me with, with that, and I talk to her a lot more. But I wasn't comfortable at first because I'm like, no, I can't come to her, with this. I'm a man. I have to be able to deal with this, and handle it and take care of it. But I'm getting to the point now, where I can, confide on her and, things that I normally wouldn't,
Mm-hmm.
just wouldn't. Yeah.
Well, my case is a little different. I mean, I think I talk about it, but I talk about it lightly because one, I am an expat now, and two, my wife we live in a different country. My wife is not an American, so my struggles as a black man in America, they really can't identify with. So when I do talk about it, it's on a lighter scale. It's not like somebody,
Right.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean because they don't know what I mean. You know what I mean? So it's but I do talk about it from time to time, but I realize me being here, I don't have to address it as much because I don't experience it here. Is that safe to say?
Mm.
Yeah, I don't experience those experiences in America. I do not experience here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, with that being said, I just had a conversation with a man maybe a day or two ago about how we're conditioned here, even as children, and even as young black boys, and even as adult black men. A lot of you guys feeling like you can't be vulnerable, so to speak, is due to conditioning. Um, as a woman that's been a wife, I would like, for you all to speak about it, because even if you say, like when Cleveland said, I feel like I'm the man and that's my weight to carry and I just have to deal with it, it then bleeds over into the marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether you know it or not, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, it does affect how you treat your spouse or your relationship with your kids. Like, so I always feel like it's better to talk about it.
I agree.
And
I
if
agree.
you have a woman that's capable of understanding, because a lot of women aren't, like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like all women are intelligent enough or capable enough to even understand when you all speak on certain things. And I think that's why a lot of men shut down, because they're like, I tried to come to you and you badgering me more than the people in the street.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
I agree. I agree with exactly what you're saying. I feel like Black men in America, we do deal with a lot of things. We have been trained to hold it in. I think it's good to hold it in to a certain degree, and I think it's like a time and a place for everything. You know what I mean? Like it's like when you at war, there's no time to cry. You may cry when the war is over or when that battle is over, and then you can go ahead and get emotional at that point. So I think, but sometimes it's bad for a Black man because I know a lot of brothers who whether they're married or they have a significant other, and they cannot express themselves. So, for example, they go out into the world. See, a lot of females don't realize we're dealing with a lot of stress. Not saying women don't deal with stress, but I'm saying Black men, because when we go to the job,
y'all do.
we don't like our jobs. Most people don't like their jobs. We're dealing with personality issues with people on the job. Your boss in particular may not like you for whatever reason, or you might just not get along for different characteristic reasons. And then when you come home and she's coming to you with different issues that's on the home base, when home supposed to be a place of serenity. So now I got to deal with that. So now me and you at battles because something that I left. I'm just throwing an example. I didn't put the clothes in the hamper or whatever the case may be. Something that's small that could be corrected. Instead of finding out how my day is, I think a lot of us don't even get those simple things. A lot of brothers don't get those simple things like, how is our day? And from a genuine point of view, from a brother, because
I agree.
I think we both should be, we got to realize we're in it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're in it together. But when you don't think like that, and it's all about you and you're the selfish individual, then this is some of the clashing that comes into play. You should not have to battle. When you go home, you should be at peace. When you leave, you getting prepared for the world, because you don't know what unforeseen thing is going to happen to you when you go outside that door. But when you come home, that's supposed to be a place of peace.
It is. I agree. One thing that I can say to that is the preamble to the situation, I feel like, is that a lot of people aren't choosing their mates well, because you would know that what kind of communication style your mate has if you put effort into doing that prior to becoming committed, whether it's dating or engaged or married, right? So that's one thing. But the second thing is once you're in it, I feel like sometimes guys don't own the power to correct. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is a way that you can correct your mate in how they approach you, how they interact with you, how to communicate with you. And it's your responsibility to get that done as the man, as a person in that and party in that relationship. And that's why I say, like, that's part of that not feeling comfortable communicating at all, because that should be communicated. Like, if it aggravates you for someone to bring things to you the minute you hit the door, there's no reason your spouse shouldn't know that, or your mate. You know what I mean?
Right. And let me say this also. And the flip side of that coin is, because it goes both ways. A lot of female are having relationship problems. For those that are having relationship problems with men, is because a lot of us are coming from a broken home, a single parent household. So again, you're trying to the male is making a transition from a boy to a man, but his mother can never teach him. That single mother can never teach him to be a man. I don't care how good she is. I don't care how hard she pray.
Nope.
She could never do that. So, for example, just myself, I remember, like I used to be, trying to win arguments, but then I had to learn that that's not how to be. But it took time. It took years. you know, for me to see that's how not to be. Because when I felt like I was right, I felt like I wasn't gonna let it go. I was like a pit bull, just stay on it. And I'm showing you I'm right. You know, instead of just sometimes you could be right. You don't even have to prove your point. Just sit back.
You don't even have to do it.
You ain't even got to do all that. But see, I wasn't.
Ego.
I lost my father at an early age. So again, I did not have that those teachings of what it is of a man, how to handle certain situations when it comes to being a man.
And let me say this, and this is to, you know, because we speaking about you know, women, but fellas, if you're in a relationship, you married, you know, you with someone, you have to be able to trust your mate.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. For me, I feel it's important for you to trust the person that you spending all these years with, you having kids with, more than you trust your homeboys out here in the street. And I see so much of these guys who don't, their mate is not even a friend. Like, and I've been in situations where my mate was not my friend. And dog, that is not a good thing, because it'll be 15, 20 years pass by and you sleeping with the enemy. And
the enemy.
I mean, so
Facts.
like you got to get to the point where your mate is your best friend, and that's your dog. Like, that's your.
And even if it's not your, I'm sorry, Cleve, it don't necessarily have to be your best friends, as long as you got friends.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, they don't even like each other. Like, you gotta like them.
Right.
Yeah, that's
because think about it. If you think about it, your friends, you got people you didn't got in an argument with. I mean, y'all didn't fell out of, but they're your friend. You don't hold on to grudges when it's your friend. You just
actually they do. They don't show you that.
Most people don't. Most people don't.
I feel like on a surface level, they don't. You'd be surprised how, if that was the case, you wouldn't see so much subliminal context of how people are doing each other on a daily basis. They're not just talking about their spouse.
But that's not your friend. That's not your friend.
But people still will call that their friend. So that brings me to my next point that I thought about.
That's because they're not a good judge of character. I'm talking about a person that your friend, like your road dog. Like, you're not gonna let something small. You know what I'm saying? Like, I let you borrow a shirt, you didn't give it back.
It can be correct. It can be correct.
Yeah, not talking about that. I'm saying, like, on a deeper level, I think the problem's bigger than just mates and spouses. I think it's a thing of, we just don't know how to relate to one another, period. That's
interpersonal relationships.
You know what I'm saying? And it's people expect to jump in relationships and learn how to coexist with a spouse or a mate when they aren't coexisting well with family, friends, coworkers, and whomever else. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not that every relationship is going to mirror the other. They're all different relationships, but each one there's a failure, and everyone points to the failure of the marriage or the intimate relationships and romantic relationships more than the others. They put more weight on the failure of that than they put on the failure of you're failing at all your relationships.
Like, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
You need to work on that.
People are really failing at even, and now, because I'm not a parent, it's taboo to say, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm seeing right now a high rate of failure in a personal relationship between children and their parents. And people put so much weight on, you know why?
You know why that's like that? Because like we said earlier, I'm just giving you an example. I sent right before the show, I sent Cleve a text. I don't know if he saw it. It's a female. She just, she's out, like it, I guess, I don't know, some outing. But anyway, she's out there twerking. And I'm like, she's my age. So I think, to me, I think that's crazy. That's somebody's grandmother, again. But my point of saying that you have to spend time with your children.
But let me say this. I'm even saying people who spend time with their children. It's just, I think we're at a height of society where we as humans, above anything, above male, female, just humans, are having issues relating because we're not evolving in how we relate to one another. Like you can be with the person, like even like spouses can live together, they can spend time together, but and that's why I asked the question about how you all feel with communication, because communication is that portal to intimacy, in my opinion, and to evolving, you know what I mean, and to growing in a way of learning how to have those relationships. I think people can spend a lot of time with their children. They can raise them the right from wrong, give them the morals. They could be living a model citizen, you know, be a model citizen for their children. I just think that breakdown somewhere of the societal programming that children are getting now versus not having the intimacy and conversation or connection that they need for whatever reason is a breakdown.
And kids also, as a percentage of, they do what they see as well. You know, they see how, you know, their parents interact with people, how their parents interact with each other, you know, and then they get in relationships and they take on the same thing, you know.
So to that, I would say as a community, we have a lot of reprogramming that needs to be done. How often do you remember growing up and someone is teaching you how to have healthy interpersonal relationships?
Right.
Like, how often did we have that conversation in our community? It was always do as I say, not as I do. And I tell people all the time, I said, those days are over.
Right.
Everything is so public now. Nothing is really private. So your kids will mirror what they see for the most part.
Right.
They'll mirror what they see. And like he said, like even with you, he's saying the grandmother out there twerking. Well, grandmothers now are 35 and 40. Like, why can't she dance? But the thing is, you know, our grandmamas was 60. So grandmama wasn't twerking.
And again, I'm not saying the females because you of age. I'm only 48 years old, but I'm saying, and the girl, she's about my age. We went to school together, but I didn't want to call her out. But my point that I'm making is she shouldn't be walking around. I'm not saying she got to walk around in a robe with house shoes.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that as we are elders. We are the elders now. We have to lead by example. Whether they follow our example or not, they have. Guess what? When they see you holding yourself up to a certain standard, they have more respect for you.
They do. I agree with that.
Even if they follow you or not.
And another thing that I see a lot of is this thing with parents wanting to be friends with their children. And I make it very clear with my daughters, and they're 25 and 15, you know, I'm not your peer. And especially before you get to like adult age, maybe 25, 30, I'm not like, some parents don't like when I say that, the whole I'm not your friend. But when I say that, I mean I'm not your peer. I am still your elder. There are certain boundaries that we will establish. Like I literally heard a teenage girl talking to her mother, calling her mom B's and H's, and the mom was saying it back to her. And we that's how we speak to one another.
Yeah, that's
B, I know you saw my phone call.
Exactly.
Excuse me?
Right. See, I don't play that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. And I've seen it very, very often. I've seen it in grocery stores, and it's a mother and a daughter or a son. Is like, why don't you just shut up? Why you keep?
Yeah.
And there are no teeth on the ground.
Back in the days, if the parent didn't get you, guess what? The person in the store.
Exactly. And now it's don't touch my child, don't say anything to my child. So that's part of the programming. And another part of it is this whole, I want my kids to have better than what I have. I get that.
Yeah.
However, handing them everything is a problem.
Yeah.
Now they don't want to work. They don't want to, they're like, well, why I have to do this? My mom and my daddy will do it. I don't have to work for that. Like, or they get a job and quit.
Right.
I don't have to do this.
Give me a few seconds. I just want to say Players for Life Entertainment is in the building. Stanley was
for life. Okay.
LaRonda Carter. And we got excuse me, we got Bates in here, Cleve. Brother Bates.
Okay, tell Bates I said what's up.
What's good, Bates?
We can throw out some questions.
We missed you,
right?
big homie, but go ahead.
Yeah, they should ask some questions.
Daniel.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yeah. Okay, so I got several questions. So what I will do, I'm just gonna jump when I say something, just go around and give me, just
Okay.
go around.
Okay.
All right. So what do you guys think about in today's society with gender roles are reversed now, where you got women are more masculine and men are more feminine? Not saying all men, but we see that now. It's like what the hell's going on? I don't like it. Go ahead. What's your point?
I don't like it. I don't mind people's sexuality is whatever it is, right? But one thing I don't like is us trying to erase gender roles. There is a purpose. There is a need. We are born a woman or a man. Sometimes, hermaphrodites happen, but I'm just saying we're born with a gender, and I don't see the need in erasing that, period. And I'm not comfortable with someone born a male in the women's restroom. I'm okay with saying that. Doesn't mean I'm like, you can't be trans, but I don't want that, because I know what that opens the door to. It opens the door to people pretending. And
because in high school, if we'd have had that, I'd have said, yeah, I'm a girl, and I would have been in the girls' bathroom.
Right. I mean, the thing is, and that's where, and to me, but I'm glad you brought that up, because to me, this is how they played us, right? Well, yeah, this is how they played y'all, because it's like, no, I don't, anytime you disagree, you're like hating. That don't mean I'm hating. I just disagree. Like I'm like we, but anyway, my point of saying I don't think a man should even dress like a woman, because guess what?
Well,
in our society, check this out. In our society, if I dress like a police, if I impersonate a cop, I'm going to jail, right? So females, I've heard females say, black females in particular, we're not protected. But then again, why are you letting somebody impersonate you? You should be offended behind that.
There's women who dress like men, though.
I'm not saying you should hate the person. I'm not saying you should be stoned to death. But I'm just saying.
What about the women who dress like men, though? It's the same.
It's the same. They're not trying to come in that restroom, though.
Yeah. Because listen,
they shouldn't want to wear men clothes either. But they definitely trying to come in that man's restroom. Those type of females are definitely not trying to come. They're not trying to come in the man's restroom. Trust me.
Nah, because a man, he don't look at you as that. You know what I'm saying? Most men, they look at you a woman. But I've been in a situation. I'm at a restaurant, and it's a lady and her it's a lady and her girlfriend or whatever, and it's two guys standing there looking at the lady, and looking at the one looks dressed like a man, one dressed like a woman, but they're looking at the one that's dressed like a woman. So the one that's dressed like a guy, let's say her name is Bob. So Bob,
they call him Stud.
Bob just keep looking over there at the guys, like, and then she says, "What you looking at?" So he was like, "What you mean? What am I looking at? I'm looking at that woman standing right there." So she just start going back and forth. So she goes to try to grab a bottom, and the dude knocked her out. So listen. So the police come. Now the police walk up on there after she got knocked out. Now she went from, "Oh, I jump on you," to now she like, "I can't believe you can snuff me and swing on me." She went to a woman.
She transformed.
So the cops thought that it was two men that got into a fight, and then they heard it. So now they looking at this man like, "Why did you hit this woman?" But she wasn't acting like that in the beginning.
Right.
She was acting like a guy, and that's how he did her.
Right.
She was big. She wasn't no small woman. She was taller than me and twice my size. But me saying that is, she stepped up to that role and thought that, hey, she was gonna, she can act like a man
until
she had to be a man.
Well, it's just interesting. So I feel like now we're talking more about gender identity instead of gender roles. So when you first asked the question, I thought about gender roles in the term of like
I was.
traditional gender roles,
I
like men
was.
and women in
I
the
was.
house.
I think Mo took it down a
My
different
bad,
avenue.
my bad.
Yeah.
So for
No,
me, I feel like gender roles they should be defined based on the couple. Things have changed. Like women don't stay at home. Women work, and some work more hours than men. And, women contribute more than just children and cleaning and cooking to a household. So in that respect of gender roles, I see how we may need to evolve a little.
So I'm
Because
glad you said that, but go ahead.
so when it comes to expecting a woman, oh, you need to cook, you need to clean, you need to rear the kids, you need to do this. Okay, now she also works. Now she also may run a business. But the man just says, all I have to do is work and provide. Well, sir, I need some help in this kitchen. Can you at least throw a load of laundry in? But some men literally feel like they don't have to do anything but pass the check over. But the
Well,
woman has picked up these extra responsibilities.
let me say this. Here's the thing. And that was like I said, I got several questions here.
Okay.
But that was pertaining to the
Roles.
what we call modern woman, right?
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So the thing is this: most men my age, we are traditional, and yes, we do believe certain things that we should not be doing in the house.
Like
Not saying that we can't do them. We just
Right,
sometimes,
like what?
like what?
I mean, whatever. I mean, because every man different. So I'm just saying for whatever. So I mean,
Like,
for me,
like as far as you're traditional. What do you not want to do?
I mean, I'm traditional, but I still believe that as a man, I still feel like I still feel like that the man's still the head of the household. But I think in the modern time, I think okay, but I feel like some women, because they make more money, then they feel like the man have less decision making in the home. I don't have that problem. I never experienced that problem.
Mhm.
But I'm saying I've seen that where if she's bringing in more economics into the house, then she feel like he have a less decision making role in the home. I've seen it on several occasions.
Mhm.
And
That goes back to what Mo said, though.
friction. This is the part that causes friction. This part when you see those sisters who say, "I don't need a man." We doing all these things now because we're the modern woman, and now we don't have to listen and all this old stuff. They throw in all this extra stuff that they haven't experienced. They even throw in being in an abusive relationship when most of them ain't even been in an abusive relationship. Not saying they haven't experienced it. Might like seeing their moms or grandmother, but they never been in a personal relationship like that. But they would throw all this at you as though they experienced it, and I think that is wrong. It's very inaccurate, and
that's a sign of mental illness.
Right, but I also feel like that's part of the imbalance that a lot of sisters have with these brothers, and that's why brothers are that's what's calling the friction. That's why these people are families are breaking up sometimes, or these couples are breaking up sometimes, because she making a certain amount of money. Now she feel like she don't have to do a certain amount of things around the house. She feel like she too good to do them.
Well,
you know what the root of that I believe is. Go ahead, Key.
Hold on, let me say this. My wife is a doctor. My wife come home from work. My wife come home and cook. Okay, so though I don't have those type of problems. However, I'm not saying I don't know how to cook. I know how to cook. Now, if my family wants something,
do y'all hear that, or is it just my phone?
Huh?
Do y'all hear like some type of breakdown in the?
That might be your.
You sound
phone.
like a robot.
I don't hear it.
Yeah,
I don't hear it.
That might be your. Phone.
It's my connection.
So my point that I'm making is, if they want something like American, like they want some freaking hot dogs or hamburgers, something like that, yeah, I go in there, because if they want something different that day, something that they don't usually have, they don't, on their regular diet or whatever, that's fine. But my point that I'm making is, it still keep balance in the home. Certain things, I just feel that way, and I'm old fashioned. You could call me old fashioned. You could call me machismo or whatever.
I get what you're saying. I feel like balance in the home
but at the same time, I take care of the responsibilities. There's nothing in the house that does not get taken care of. I make sure everything is taken care of.
So let me say this.
She's still making her money. It's not a problem.
Let me say this. Just from me personally, we you know, me and my wife, we, you know, she does cooking. She does all of the cooking. But when it's time, like she's tired, you know, she's exhausted or whatever, then I would, you know, order out or get something, you know what I'm saying? So she doesn't have to cook. But I've seen situations where the women
Is that better?
Yes, it was my
the women
connection.
want to see the man actually over a stove cooking or whatever to make them feel like, okay, you know, we doing equal amount of work.
Right. I'm trying to measure work.
It don't matter who like if we need to eat, you know, if she's tired, she don't want to cook or whatever, then I will order out. I will go get something, you know, and bring home and provide for the family.
You were saying, I get what both of you are saying. That's what keeps harmony in your home, but it's because you two as a couple have an agreement that makes it harmonious.
Yeah.
So like he said, it depends on what each couple sets as their gender roles and give space for that to change if life circumstances change. So sometimes things change where there may be a moment in time where, you know, for some reason the same routine doesn't work. Because I also believe sometimes, sorry about that, the same routine can make things go stale. You know what I mean? That's for me. So you
talking about from an intimacy point of view?
No, from even gender, like
lifestyle.
I don't want my lifestyle to be we wake up, we do this, and nothing is a surprise in our day. That's just me. And I have a mate that's the same way. So that works with us. That's what keeps harmony for us. Because he wouldn't even like if I come home if we go have the same routine every day and I get to the house and he know I'm cooking and we're not doing nothing different. That's just not our life. You see what I'm saying? So our gender roles are what they are, and we talk about those things, and that's what creates the harmony. I think the issue is people aren't talking about it when they're getting to know each other and making sure that they have the same view of what gender roles are for their type of relationship.
Right.
And like you said, things can change. You know, my second marriage, I married someone that had 5 children. So we're blending the family. I went from having to cook from 1 or 2 kids to cooking for 7, 8, 9 people. Sir, I don't want to do that every day. Right. I'm in school. I work 3rd shifts. I don't want to do this every day. I don't want to have to clean up behind 7 children.
Was he doing anything to help you out as far as cooking or cleaning?
We had to have conversations about that because his the other wife was a home. She was a stay-at-home mom. I worked. I was in school. I'm blending the family. Like, I'm not that type of woman.
Yeah.
The communication had to come into play. Like, look, this is not what I want to do every day.
Right. Okay. So let me go to the next question. So let's. I want to go around the panel. We're gonna fill in the blank.
Okay.
Most modern women fail in relationship because of what?
Who first?
I would say, even though I'm not really feeling your modern woman term, but I will let it go. That's
opposite of tradition. How about that?
You said what now?
Opposite of tradition.
Whatever you say. The only reason, never mind, we won't get on that. I'll answer the question. The question is, what do you think the failure point is? I would say it is not knowing self and getting into agreement with something and someone, not knowing and honoring self. Even if that's ridiculous to some people. I do feel like there is space for someone to say, you know what? I'll even use the term, I am in it for the business side of it. I am in it for the money. And these are my terms, and let somebody sign up for those terms. I feel like the honesty and not being honest as to what you want is not there. Right. I feel that way. And I feel like a lot of times women are not honest with themselves because they're made to feel a certain way about every single thing they feel that's not traditional. Right. Like, stay in the traditional space or you won't get chosen, or you won't have the success that you want in your marriage and all this, when actually I find that you have more success by bringing your authentic self to the table and saying, hey, like I'm one to say, like, hey, this is my ego speaking right now. This is what I want. It may seem very ridiculous to you. Yes or no, what we're going to do, and go and start negotiations about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we have conversation.
I'm
So
sorry. What?
yeah, it is. It's how we have conversation, and that's how he can bring things to me too. He said, what? And that's how he brings things to me too. You know what I'm saying? And it's the best, you know, most realest relationship that either one of us have had, where we can just be open and say what it is. And it's not like you always get your way, but you can be in your ego. You can be in your, like, my little girl can be like, oh, I want to be held today for just no reason at all, but I'm feeling this way. You get what you want.
Right.
Well, for me, the blank would be they fail because of unaddressed trauma.
Yes.
And it still piggybacks back to what Mo said about people not knowing themselves and not being honest.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be honest, and we get in these situationships with the representative of who you are or who they are, or whatever. And Mo and I are a lot alike. I don't play that. Like, this is me. This is me. The only thing that's going to happen is I get better. Like, I don't believe I don't have room for growth or for change. It'll be for the better, but just know this is who I am. This is what I expect. And you don't have to like it. And I'm not going to look at you weird if you don't. We're just not compatible.
So Mo, let me ask you this. Well, this is a question from one of our fans out here, Players for Life Entertainment. He said, why is it that you don't like the term modern woman?
Because of the conversations I've had with you in Cleveland, where it is not that it's just a title, it is a stigma that you've attached to it. You know what I mean? Like, that it's problematic that women aren't 100% traditional. That's why.
Okay.
She said your definition of modern woman.
Your definition and the stigma behind it. You know, the definition I totally get, but it doesn't.
My definition is women of today's society.
I get that, but let's be clear. We've had very many conversations where the stigma behind it, the definition alone, I have no issue with. It's the stigma,
negative stigma,
the negative connotation that you two have attached to it, as if a woman's not 100% traditional, and that
I don't say 100%. I don't.
My bad. I won't put a percent on it. If a woman doesn't have or doesn't have the traditional values, that she's somehow unworthy of various things in life. She's called a stray, or she's called, you know, all these different things.
I mean, I don't want
the cash register like cha-ching, correct.
It's the fact that they want to be modern and be the way they are, but they want traditional men. They want traditional value. I mean,
they want traditional values from men, but at the same time, they want to have modern woman ways.
They want Cliff Huxtable, but they don't want to be Claire Huxtable. That's what I'm saying.
Wait, that's a contradiction, because you just said that these modern women want y'all to cook. That's not traditional, then.
Say that again?
She wants you to help cook and clean and all that. That's her not wanting a traditional man.
No, I agree. I'm talking about as far as they want us to do it all. Not all women, but they want you to cook, clean, bring home the bacon,
cut the grass.
Yeah, cut the grass.
Well, let me ask this: Do y'all
we can pay somebody to do some of that.
Say that again?
But listen, what's interesting is you all want modern traditional women, though, by the fact of who your wives are. They work, they do all this stuff, so they're modern and they're traditional.
No. They have a career.
Back then, women worked.
They take that hat off before they come through the door and become traditional.
And back then, women worked. Women worked.
No.
See, for example, Mo. For example, there's a good example here.
Mm-hmm.
A woman, if let's say she's a supervisor, whatever, at her job, she's an excellent supervisor. Okay. Now she's in charge of maybe 30 people. When she come home, she got to take that hat off before she enter the door. She's not coming home running me, not me. It ain't gonna happen.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Okay, but a lot of them don't know how to turn the switch off, and that what becomes a problem. So now you feel like you supervising every damn body.
I get that. I get not wanting that.
Okay.
However, that's not, to me, that is not my mind. A modern woman is one that does not do exactly what was done back in the day as a traditional thing, right? So there needs to be, what's the term for the woman who, like y'all, like your wives who work, cook, they will clean, they will raise kids, but you know what I'm saying? But they do more than just what the traditional woman did. The traditional woman didn't have a voice. Your wives have voices with you. They're able to come to you and speak. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because people will listen to your podcast because, you know, everybody's not like us. They're not robust in their thinking and think that it's one way or the other. There's never space or a conversation about that woman who is well balanced and can do both tradition and bring the modern into the home.
Okay, I think you said one of the key words. All that what you said, one word that caught my attention was balance.
Balance.
And that's all we're saying. So if that word balance make you feel good, then when you come through the door, bring balance.
Yeah.
All right. When you leave your job from supervising those 30 people, when you come through that door, balance. Yeah, and then understand your role. Period.
But because the thing is, we as men, most men, we know our role. We understand our role. Society shows us this is your role. Yeah. You know, if a man doesn't come and provide for his family, take care of his family, they're gonna dog him out. They're gonna dog him out. He's trifling. He's deadbeat. He's dead. They go and we as men we dog them out. But on the other hand, when it comes to women, not so much. Not so much. You don't understand what she go through. You don't know what she. We don't have that crutch. We don't have that leisure of not being strong. We just don't. We masculine. We just don't. We don't have the leisure of not being strong.
Y'all live in Atlanta. I mean, when you live in Atlanta, you know you see men who have the leisure of not being that.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about most men. Most men.
Okay, check this out. I got one more question, and after that, y'all can just keep moving around the panel. We supposed to be, But anyway, all right. So this is going to be my last one. Then I'm gonna let y'all have it. So I noticed that a lot of women in today's society. I didn't use the word. You see, I didn't use the word modern woman, right? In today's society. Okay, I noticed that there's a large trend out there, and I'm really like focusing in on our sisters because I'm focusing on them because those are my biggest concern, right? I noticed that there's this huge trend of this augmentation of the body, but when you talk to them and ask them questions, I'm not talking about you two beautiful women. I'm talking about y'all know what I'm talking about.
We know what you're talking about.
They'll say, "Oh, I love myself," and this and that. But then every time I see you, your lash is so damn heavy, I can't even see your eyes. You went and got your all the fat sucked out your stomach. Instead of just moving away from the table, just cut down on the meals. You want to do it the lazy way. You're gonna do it you want that instant gratification. So you're gonna fly to some third world country to get your surgery done, get the fat sucked out your gut, stick it in your butt. And to me, that's going to be a problem. I think the next 10 years, 15 years from now, you're going to be seeing these augmented women walking down the street just start collapsing because that stuff take maintenance. You have to keep maintenance. Once when you get that stuff done, you have to continue doing it. It's not a one-time job. So what do you guys take on that?
I personally, it saddens me because a lot of these women are already beautiful. And on top of that, I understand that there may be something someone want to tweak about themselves because a lot of it you may think is just, overweight women, but it's some women who nothing was wrong with their shape.
There was nothing wrong with them. Right. Exactly.
And I understand that it's a personal, because the argument that a lot of people have is that it's a personal decision to do what you want to do with your body. And while that's true, it still saddens me because everyone is starting to look like the same. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's taking away from the culture of being spicy, being different, being authentic, and being natural. Not even just natural, but because people enhance themselves, back in the 60s, 70s, but it wasn't in that way. I feel like there's a way to do different things, whether it's dye your hair, whether, that isn't so permanent and life-threatening. So that's my take on it. I just feel like it's very life-threatening.
And I'm just I'm being respectful when I say, how y'all go, how they got the thing called Build a Bear. I call it the Build a, what?
Mm-hmm.
Well, And I also feel like it's going to cause emotional trauma at some point, because if it doesn't go right later on and you can't get it back to something that looks appealing to just self, then it's going to cause emotional and mental trauma.
It's definitely some insecurities going on before even getting into that. There's a lot of deep insecurities going on.
So for me, I get a very unique perspective on this very thing because of the business that I'm in. So, you know, I do jewelry, I do waist beads. So I see a lot of women, I see a lot of body types. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of everything. And some of my clients have had surgeries. The flip side of the whole being insecure is some women literally have physical issues going on that they can't just go to the gym and work out. They have hernias, they have scar tissue from having cesarean sections back in the day, and where they didn't do the little bikini cut. Like their bodies have been scarred by medicine or by birth or by other things. Personally, I don't feel like I would ever do it. I don't want any voluntary surgery. Don't cut on me, period. If I have a couple extra lumps and humps and bumps, either you like it or you don't. And we just gonna have to be okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is what I am.
This is a woman.
Yeah, I'm a natural woman. I'm not, my body might not be what some may consider perfect, but it's mine.
No, it is perfect. And that's the problem.
It's perfect for me, right?
No, it's not. That's the part. We're thinking augmentation is perfect. That's not perfect.
And it's not. And
natural is perfection.
And what I'm getting back to is some of the women I know that have had these surgeries, like you said, it requires maintenance. They're back to their usual size. And they was like, oh, I'm just going to have another surgery. Ma'am, you have like 3 inches of scar tissue around your stomach. Right. Don't have another surgery. Some people do it just for vanity. I had one client do it, and after she did it, she said, oh my God, nobody talks about this part. I can't believe I was so vain that I did this to myself. She said that out of her mouth.
Most of them do it for vanity.
No doubt. And she was a nice looking woman. It was nothing wrong with her, but she was like, oh, I want my butt a little bigger. Or no, people just have a problem being happy with what they have. Oh, I want my breasts bigger. I want my butt bigger. I want my thighs. You looking like an ant because you got these little skinny legs and this big old trailer truck in the back. And it's ridiculous.
I like to say they look like a meatball on a toothpick.
I just feel like we have to learn to embrace ourselves.
Well, also some of it comes with not embracing the truth. Because Daniel, while you're saying it's perfect, it also isn't. Like, just because you're natural doesn't mean your body's perfect, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying?
But when I say perfect, here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when I say perfect, I'm saying that I'm not saying, first of all, I'm not saying let yourself go. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is perfection is you are the best version of yourself naturally. To me, that is perfection.
Right.
I'm not saying everybody got to walk around with a 6-pack. I don't live by those standards. You know what I'm saying?
Me either.
A woman got to be, you know. Now, however, I do believe in we all have to take care of ourselves. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't let your body go. That's not what I'm saying now, because you can still be nice. You still can be nice.
I feel like the root of it too, like he said, is, you know, it's vanity, but it also is some internal, you know, insecurity, sometimes fear, sometimes like wanting to just, you know, get an additional type of attention perhaps, or wanting to feel a certain kind of way. They don't know how to feel any other kind of way. And they think that's the answer. So I do feel like even though I'm not an advocate for being overweight, I'm an advocate for saying and being honest with self that I'm here where I am, and this is what I have to do to get to where I want to be.
And that's it.
Or agree I'm not going to get there. Like,
or I'm gonna be comfortable. Exactly. I'm just gonna be okay with what I have.
That's being perfectly honest.
Yeah, being honest with self.
Being perfectly honest.
I see women, and it's sad because I'll be like, man, like, wow. Especially if you know them and you see them later on, and you be like damn, like you didn't have to do that. Like you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and then what gets me is that now I'm seeing older women do it now. So it's like, Are you
Yep.
trying to compete against a 21-year-old? You're gonna lose that battle every time. You're gonna lose that
I
battle.
don't know. Some of these 21-year-olds looking rough out here.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true too. No, yeah, they let themselves all the way. That's
Real
true.
rough.
What I'm
Stay off
saying
the
is-
drugs.
my point that I'm saying is those are the ones
I
that
get it.
got the immaculate
Right.
body, you know, and that's just in time too. That body's not going to stay the same either.
Well, check this out. As a man, I have a question. As men, I have a question for you all.
Run it.
A lot of women do it because older men or men in their peer group, what they want, a young woman. You want a woman that look like a child. Now, not all men, because I know a lot of men. It's like, look, I need some fluffy. I need some nobody want a bone but a dog. But you know, a lot of older men out here. You look. Why are you looking? You 63. You.
So let me ask you this, Keith. Let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think men are visual creatures?
They are definitely visual creatures. Absolutely. I totally, yes.
So being that, I mean, that's one of the things that we notice, you know, a woman, you know, their beauty, outside beauty. Because before we meet you, before we even have a conversation with you, that's all we know is just looking at you.
I agree.
You know, okay.
But it's it's for me now it's becoming what's perceived as beautiful. That's the thing. Like we're in this society with all this fakeness, all this, you know, oh, she got this, but you don't realize because her surgery may look more natural, she
Right.
still had a surgery. That's why she
Right.
looks that way.
Right.
And then you see a woman that's a natural woman, she's giving birth. So yeah, she might have a little fluff in the middle. Okay, maybe she can't just work it off in the gym. She got extra skin. She carried a whole child in her. Some women snap right back.
Yeah,
some women don't.
Some of them got to snap back, and some.
And listen, if you was to go back and look at, if you just go Google the walk on Washington, right? March on Washington, and just look at us back then.
Right.
Just look at us. These were women who had 4 or 5 kids and look fabulous. Look fabulous.
And there again, we're back to what's perceived as beautiful.
I didn't say beautiful. I said just look. They look
fabulous,
healthy, they look fabulous.
Whatever.
Their energy and they whole all just is beautiful. And I'm not talking about really with the look. I'm just talking about how they carry themselves,
how they presented themselves, how they showed up. I agree with that.
I could see a slim woman in a nice outfit. I could see, you know, a woman that's not too slim in a nice outfit, and be like, wow, I love that dress.
They both look nice, right?
Yeah, but to make it skimpy and you know that what you have on is gonna draw attention because
a certain type of attention.
My thought process is the look that you get. Are you trying to be a wife? Are you trying to get wife? Or are you trying to be a one night
is that? And I agree with what you're saying. I believe that, you know, the way we show up matters. The way we show up matters. I believe in, you know, keep it classy, but that don't mean classy to one may not mean classy to another. Some women do overdo it. They overdo it much.
But I will say this: everybody is not going to be a size 4. Let me say that.
At all.
but my thing is this to both male and female. You have to we cannot allow ourselves to let ourselves go.
Look, it's dress for the body you have, not the body you want.
I like that.
Some people dress for the body they want to have.
Hit that again.
All the time.
Dress for the body that you have, not the body that you want.
Yeah. I see it all the time.
Absolutely.
Did you ask a question yet?
I did not, but we're almost out of.
Keep going.
Keep going.
No, so my question was going to be, well, one of them, since I know we have 2 married men, a lot of women, you know, the ratio of men to women is very skewed.
Absolutely.
So how did you know that your wife was going to be your wife? And what I tell women is a man knows between 6 and 12 months if she's wife or mate or whatever potential, whatever you choose to be. Some men know instantaneously. But I said between 6 to 12 months, if he still hasn't decided that he wants to be whatever, you're just not the one. So for you all, how long did it take?
For me, 6 months. 6 months. I knew she was talking good. We both wanted the same thing out of life. So once when I came down and I had to make sure those words match up. Yeah. And so from there, you know, when I saw her get in that kitchen, you know, being that traditional woman.
Oh my goodness.
Red beans and rice.
She got me.
Them red beans and rice.
I saw her in there stirring up that pot. I was like, oh shit.
Okay, Cleveland, what about you?
Yeah.
Well, y'all know my story as far as me and my wife now. I mean, I knew once we started back dating.
Time frame.
Yeah, because we shoot. I mean, a month after we started dating.
Right, because you all had a previous connection, though, so you already knew.
But before I asked to date her, you know, we just hung around, you know, just around with friends and stuff like that, and we just was close. We were just friends. That's why I was like, you know, I married, you know, my close friend, because we just was there for each other during hard time. I was going through a divorce and everything, and her family, my family know each other, so we just was there for each other. And when I approached her with it, you know, she looked at me like, "What? No, you said you leaving the country." But I'm like, "Yeah, I did." But you know, I started just thinking like, you know, we know each other. You know, we close.
And let me say, in April it'll be 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is amazing. Because I mean, so I'd try not to classify myself, period, but I'm definitely traditional / modern / whatever, because you know, I can cook, I can clean, I can bake, I can run a business, I'm intelligent. I don't think I'll, you know, let my body go to the garbage, but but it's like some men, they don't really like that. They like a more dependent, a more needy. I feel like that's more of a reflection of the man, so-called man, because there's also this false sense of masculinity out here. Like you all keep bringing up about a man providing, and some men feel like that's all they have to do. But being masculine is not about money, because if you looking at women like me and Mo, we don't need your money.
So let me ask you this: Do you think? We
want it, but we don't need it. We want it.
Clear.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this: do you think you attract who you are?
Sometimes I think you can attract the very opposite of who you are, because I just like some dark people are attracted to light, because there's something in you that they desire, even if it's the total opposite. So I think sometimes you can attract who you are, but sometimes you will definitely attract the total opposite, and you have to be self-aware enough and discerning enough to know which is which. Because men can be gold diggers too. Let's be clear about that.
Absolutely. Those are the gigolos.
Yeah, those are simps. Those are simps.
They are. Exactly.
You got simps out here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You got simps, guys who want to stay at home, play video game while you go home. I mean, while the wife is at work. And
you know, some of them will work. Some of them will even work, and they want you because of what you present. Like you said, men are visual. They like what they see, but they're not prepared for what they actually get in that type of woman.
Right. I agree with you totally.
But because the reason why I asked that, I know that for me, this is just for me. I had to change my whole from inside out. And you know, it's a guru. His name is Dr. Well, they call him Sadhguru. I listen to a lot of his videos on YouTube, and he just talks about how you have to change inside
Yes.
You know, to make the outside look presentable to what you want.
Exactly.
And so that was one of the reasons why I talk about it all the time. I became vegan. I started meditating. I started going to counseling, like things like that. I had to change my whole insight, because I would have been doing in attracting the exact same
thing.
I mean, the exact same energy. I had to change. And when I did that, when I tell you, like, life just started, like, poof, like people that was coming at me, women, that was coming at me, it's like they immediately, when they see me, it scared them off, because they was like, wait a minute, you don't eat meat? Do you eat fish? I'm like, I don't eat nothing that has veins. I eat nothing that you can kill. No, I don't. So
they eat all of that.
It's scared because my whole energy, they was like, wow, and it scared them off. So the one person that that it didn't scare off, I end up marrying.
And that's perfect. Like I mean, I eat meat. And I still glow. I know, I get it. But they were really scared because of your energy, your aura. Like you said, you cleared up your stuff, you cleared up your aura, and you took your path and your journey. So they were really afraid, because like when a lot of people come to me, I'm a thermostat, not a thermometer. So I set the tone. I have big energy. I take up a lot of space. Even if I'm just sitting somewhere quiet, I take up space. I have really big energy. So people, that will scare some people away, because they can't play with you. That's why they're scared. That's why they go, because they understand their energy knows you have a certain respect and standard.
Yeah, they can feel it, because there's some people have hidden motives. Both male and female have hidden motives. Okay, we got brother Players for Life Entertainment. He said he disagreed with he disagreed. You need a man's money. 2 incomes are better for retirement. Y'all going off back in the day. Not for the long. He's saying y'all need the money for retirement. So he's saying
I'm retired. We're both retired already.
Retired. So they both retire. Players for Life. They're both retired. So that makes 3 of us.
I get what he's saying, though. I think I get what he's saying, because for me, like, when, I don't know if you guys heard us, I said we want it, and I would say need. I feel like people take need to a place of like dire necessity.
Extreme.
Right.
But like when people say I don't need a man, like no one needs anybody like to technically functionality, like wake up and live, right? But I need a man. I need dual income. I like that. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
We need companionship. We need don't nobody.
Yes, that is perfectly natural.
We need companionship. There's no doubt about it.
Society now where need is such a taboo word, but I like saying need.
I don't like to hear when I hear, because I only hear sisters say. I never heard a white woman or Asian Hispanic woman say I don't need a man. Yeah, so I always only hear sisters say that. So when I hear that, I'm like, don't say that, because I'm like,
it makes my soul quiver a little. And like I said, we don't need the money part, but we need so many other things. I like having it. Like let's not be mistaken. 2 incomes are you can be very comfortable. I feel like 2 incomes is almost a necessity these days to be really, really comfortable.
That's true.
I can be comfortable on my own, but that's because of the life I built for myself. I will never say I don't need a man. I've never been one of those women that say, "Oh, I don't need no man," and I don't need. Yes, I like men. Come on, I don't need them in the traditional sense. And I don't need them in that traditional sense. I love having companionship.
Right, and that's all I'm saying. I say, and that's why I say. But I think that's also a word that's been embedded, that's been deeply embedded in our sisters, because I've even heard a guy tell me that I'm raising my daughter where she don't need no, the N word.
And I hate that.
And this is a man talking. I'm like, dude, that's crazy. A
lot of people's thought of need is such a bad thing, though. People think need is a negative connotation of an existence.
Well, but we as men and women on earth, we need each other.
We do.
We do. We need one another.
I'm not even saying you got to walk down the aisle. I'm saying that we need each other just to be here on this earth. Do you realize you'll go crazy if you just
by yourself all the time?
You would go crazy.
And let's be real clear. I'll go crazy if it was just an earth full of women. So I'm gonna be real clear.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if y'all see it's a TV show, Last Man Standing or something, where it's one man and the rest of the world is women. I'm like, I don't need to be here for that.
Right.
I just don't need to be here for that. You know,
there again, everything is about balance. You know, everything is about balance. It's about honesty. It's about communicating.
Right.
Because, you know, I've had men say, you know, I just feel like you don't need me. But they are always referring to money.
Right.
We are always putting a price on things, and the things that I desire most in life do not come with a price tag.
And I think that those men that you have encountered, I think that is a insecure. Well, I just think it's a lack of something that they haven't been taught. I'm not even gonna say insecurity, because
they're in that traditional role. They feel like all they have to offer is what they provide, and I'm just like, that is extra for me.
But he also has to understand the power of time. His time is just as valuable as his money.
Yeah, but sometimes I think one thing that women don't realize too is that men say that without knowing how to express that it's more than money. There is a certain way a woman shows up where her energy says, I don't need a man for anything, without her even saying
it. Yeah, I'll operate in that energy.
We're always in the masculine energy, always, in the doing
too
mode.
Masculine. Yes. I want to be soft and delicate. I want to be protected.
But that energy that you're showing up with, it doesn't give a man space to feel needed for anything. You know what I'm saying?
That can definitely happen.
That was another question I did have written down about. And another thing that makes me cringe when I hate to hear these women. I'm a strong black woman. Like, God damn,
it's overrated.
Like, man, come on, man. Listen,
it's overrated.
It's overrated. The work you don't need. Listen, it's obvious you're strong, right? Because guess what? Out of a million some sperms, you made it to the egg cell, right? So that's strong enough, right? So let's get past that part.
I don't want to be strong all the time. And I'll tell them, man, I don't want to be that. I want, like I just said, I want to be soft and delicate, and I often tell my mates, treat me like a flower.
And I always use the analogy that women are flower.
Treat me like a flower. I don't want to.
Sometimes you give them rain, but you also have to give them that sunshine.
Because just because I can does not mean that I want to all the time. Can I take care of myself? Absolutely. Do I want to take care of myself all the time? No, come take care of me. Come care for me. Come protect me. Come make me. Yeah, I don't. That strong woman thing is so overrated, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting is what it is.
Right. In the career that I had a team of 40 people, in different parts of the country. I had to always answer questions and be the problem solver. Like, I didn't want to come home and do that. I knew that even as a single woman, that's not the life that I would always want to be the decision maker in every single aspect of life.
I don't want to be the boss all the time. I don't want to do that.
Enjoy that work and enjoy problem solving. But I like to have a thoughtless day where I don't have to decide on anything today. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying?
It's whatever.
Right.
And then because I have that, when you have that trust in your mate, the decisions aren't going to be like left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, it's cool to just lean back and be in feminine energy.
Yeah, take it easy.
And get to be in that place. I feel like when I'm in that state, I'm most supportive anyway, and I'm most harmonious anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because at work, you have to have that friction. Like, you have to have that friction to where you got to be about business and go back and balance, and argue a little bit,
Right.
So I like it.
I like operating in my feminine energy. I can turn the masculine energy up, but I would rather operate in my feminine energy.
Right.
We don't need you to turn that masculine energy up.
You do not, because I turn it all the way to 1,000.
And that's me here, similar in that. Like, I don't know what happened to where the middle ground is only a small little middle ground. It's
I don't operate in gray areas much.
Right.
It's black and white.
So that leads to my question. that I want to ask. Why are sisters so angry? Like why
They're hurt. They just hurt and don't know what to
Yes,
do
they
with
are.
it.
And
Yes,
unable
they
to
are. They are
express
hurt,
themselves. It's
and
Yeah,
they're not honest with their hurt.
right.
they're
And
not
not
honest
only
about
that,
their
though,
hurt.
they're programming to see only one side, which is,
Yeah.
you know, which is very they're programmed to see
I
only
like
one
that.
side. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like programmed to only care about me. Like you know how many women I've talked to, because people are like magnetized to talking to me a lot because of the fact I can see more than one side and give them
Yes.
insight sometimes that they don't want. So a lot of times I tell them, like, they'll tell me something about their man or the person they're dating, and I'll tell them something like, how do you think he feels? And that's like a light bulb to them. They never considered how he feels.
Don't
No,
even
it's all
consider it.
about them. It's always been about them.
Then,
And let me say this too for the sisters whoever listening, listen to this, right? And I get it. I get it while you walking around with a chip on your shoulder, you're frustrated because you done every time you dated, you failed, or you felt like the guy, got his way with you or whatever. But the thing is, most of that is predicated on decisions that you're making.
That you made.
You knew he was that type of guy, but you up in your mind you wanted to change him, but you ignored it. So again, you have to change your selection of men. Like what happened is you've dated 3 different guys. They all had 3 different names, but they all had the same characteristics. So you got to learn, you know what? Let me try something a little bit different. If you did that, I guarantee you'll get much success. But before you do that, you do some internal
internal work.
balance with yourself.
Yes.
Before you try to put yourself out on the market, do some internal
exactly
before you do that. And I guarantee you'll have somebody
too. They also need to more than just internal checkup, like get a broader understanding, get more exposure to life. You get what I'm saying? Because until you're exposed to different ideas and ideals, you can't break out of what your program. You can't break out of that, right?
Exactly.
There are women who will go on 3-4 dates with a man and be devastated that he ghosts them, and I'm just like, but you didn't know him.
Right.
You don't even know him. Like these attachment issues, unhealthy attachment issues.
And he might have did you a favor. He might have saved you
a
whole lot of pain. And
right. Yeah. And I had to tell one of my guy friends this. Like I had to tell one of my guy friends this because he kept saying that he kept going back to a woman because she was like, there's no one else, that treats me better than you do. Like I this connection, because she was sucking him in because she kept telling me he was amazing, kept telling me he was all this. I said, but she says that, but she obviously does not think you're amazing because she's tried to change you since day one.
Right.
Hello. Let's state the obvious.
So what she likes is the idea of who she could make you, but not who you are. She does not like you. And that's one thing that I have to tell women too. You have to realize, do you even like this person before you try to act like you love them? Because if you're trying to change somebody, you don't like them like that. You know what I'm saying?
You can't change anybody. Number one, you can't. Most people can't even change themselves. So how do you feel like you can change anyone else? Number two, we have to stop looking at rejection as such a negative thing.
Exactly.
Some people just are not meant to be together. It's okay.
It's not looking at emotions negative.
It don't make either one person a bad person. It just means you're not compatible together. And people go into things with these expectations, and like you said, they don't even consider the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They don't consider
there are
them.
2 people. It's okay if this person, it's like, yeah, we can cool, we cool, we can talk, we can go out to dinner. I can't see myself in a relationship with you. And that's okay.
And you might bring them up a little bit, but that's okay.
It's okay.
And then like I also tell women, like, you considering your hurt, your trauma, but have you considered his? And his
have not. They have not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he may have all these great things going, but you're ready to X him for this thing, and that's simply his programming. That's not like him making him a terrible person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
exactly. We all have trauma. A lot of us, especially in our community, we have this childhood trauma that has been unaddressed. And like Cleveland said, a lot of people, you need therapy. You don't need a mate. You don't need to go out. You need to go to counseling.
Right.
Because they're gonna make that mate their counselor, and they're not certified to do that.
That's a heavy load. Unless I have a psychology degree, but I don't want to be your counselor and your mate.
Yeah. And that
Right.
happens.
Well,
That happens a lot.
The answers too.
It does.
And the reason why I asked that question, because just talking to a couple of guys, and like we finish each other's sentence, because just out in public, just at a work facility, and they just angry and mad and just
Right.
and I'm like, and I always start off, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? And they'll look at you like you cursed them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, because I always, like, I deal with a lot of facilities where majority of the people that I deal with are women.
Mhm.
And I know the job that they have, you in customer service, but you don't like people. That makes no sense.
No sense at all.
None.
And you don't like talking to people, and you don't like answering questions or doing your job. So when I walk in a lot of these facilities, I immediately, that's the first thing I say, hey, how you doing? How's your morning going? You know, just to see the temper.
Yeah, test the water.
Of the person before I even try to get some information from, because right off the rip, if they look at you, and a lot of them do, they look at you with them eyelashes and roll their eyes.
Oh.
And I look at them and I'll be like, okay, this is that type of situation.
Right.
And I typically, because I need something from them, I need my paperwork to get up out of there.
Right.
So I'm like, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes.
You try to get your flies with sugar, not the other
yes,
stuff.
because I already know. And they be like a rattlesnake.
But you know what, too? A lot of times, some of the anger is not even with men. It's with life itself. You get what I'm saying? Like, a lot of women have been hurt by life in the where their lives are, and that they feel like they put in so much because they've been taught to be doers, and that they haven't gotten the return they anticipated in getting.
That's a whole other show right there.
It is. Yeah. And it's from family, it's from friends, like just over exhausted in all they put in and invested in different things in different areas in life and haven't gotten back. And even to the point where I would say that there's an anger in just happiness. Like, I can't tell you lately in my life how much I've had challenges with some women because I'm happy.
Because you're happy. They hate it. It's like it makes them itch or something.
I used to have people on my job. I had people on my job say, man, why you always smiling? You know, why you always smiling? I said, dude, I'm happy, bro. I'm happy. You know, like,
people are not uncomfortable with it.
I'm gonna tell you what did make me upset. I didn't like the management on as far as on the job.
The thing is, the difference is,
like, shit, I'm happy, dude. Yeah.
But the difference is there can be unhappy moments. I see unhappy moments. I see sadness. I cry. Right. I get hurt. I have death in the family.
All of those things. I don't stay there.
Things, but I don't stay there. I just have a natural state of joy and happiness, and that disturbs so many people. And it's caused. I even feel the hostility. And so lately, I've been like, I just don't feel a need to hang around people who don't rock with me. But they'll get mad at you not hanging with them. I'm like, what?
Please keep that negative energy over there.
Right,
We're not doing that.
I'm disrupting your peace by being around, so I'll remove myself. And like one or two women have finally admitted that they just they feel intimidated by my presence and how strong I am, as far as not like a strong woman, but how I take command of my life and just live in a joyous state. Like, I don't allow.
And why not learn? You can learn this. Like, I don't mind helping you. I'm not an information hoarder. Like, I don't mind helping you reach this place. Life does not have to be so difficult.
Right.
Your perspective matters. We look at things, you perceive things certain ways. You have to change your perspective in life at some point. And don't get mad when people are like, we're the same. Like, I'm just I'm a happy person.
Mm-hmm.
I have been through a lot in life.
Disagreeable. I mean, that's the part that people don't understand too.
What's that? Say again?
It's okay to be disagreeable. Like, sometimes you can just disagree. That's okay too.
Yeah.
But
I respect other people's differences. I respect differences in people. I don't let it vex me.
But as far as happiness is concerned, my happiness is from within. So the small things make me happy. One, I'm happy that I'm alive and I'm healthy. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at life from a whole different perspective, you know what I'm saying? It's like, You know, so I don't look at like material things like that. The stuff like that
No.
don't mean nothing to me. There you go, Clay. You back.
And I also look at it like if
I'm gonna have to get off of here in a minute, y'all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
And I look at it too, like if I'm unhappy, I can control that. I can change my circumstance. If my job is that
Exactly.
bad, get another one. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Get another one.
Whatever,
If your job is that bad, you need to remove yourself from it. That's I agree.
Hello.
I agree.
You
So
know,
you know what? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, I just feel like everybody can find happiness. I know there's sometimes mental illness that gets in the way, but that's one point that I just want to make. And I try to tell people all the time that you can create your happiness. I know it sounds cliche, but people can
no, that's true.
No, you
that
can.
is so true.
You
Ain't
can.
no saying that's what we all do. I mean, you create your happiness. Is you are the author of your own book,
right?
Yeah.
And you control your narrative. That's what I live by those rules. Like I don't live by nobody else's rule. I make my own freaking rules.
But you know, some people do allow others because they're thermometers, not thermostats. There again, you know, some of us are thermostats.
Yeah.
Some of us are thermometers. I'm not a thermometer. I don't fluctuate like that.
Right.
I set the tone.
I tell people I empathize with where they are. Like, I tell people I empathize with where they are, but it doesn't work for me. I'm not going to be pulled into
that don't work.
Of talking negative every single day. Like I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so we don't want to lose Miss Akilah. So in closing, we're gonna pass it around the panel like we always do. And again, I appreciate you guys for coming in. I love you too. You both good people. I can feel your spirit. And we're going to continue having you on here as often as possible.
All right.
So in closing, what do you want to share? Words of wisdom or something that go ahead and touch these people's heart.
Go ahead, Kiki, because you got to leave.
I would just say, learn to meditate, learn to embrace what some people consider the little things in life. Don't allow society, you know, social media to dictate who you are and what you're supposed to be. Be happy with yourself. Sit in the mirror. Say affirmations. Right. You know, learn to be happy with you, and you will be surprised how your life will get better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'll piggyback off that and just say that a way to learn to be happy with self is to express gratitude. Like I would, if needed, get a journal or even say it out your mouth every day, things that you can be grateful for. And also write out things that would make your life even look better to you. Like if nothing else was a factor, if reality wasn't a factor, what tangible things or what actions can you put into play to create the life you want and go after it?
Right. What you got, Cleo?
Seek counseling if you need it. Get tools to help you be able to, you know, map through life because you're going to need them. And a lot of us don't have them, and you got to get help because it's people out here who can help you get to where you want to be and the things that you need. Love people, love your loved ones. Because, man, people dropping left and right every day. Tell people you love them.
Yeah.
You know, check on all your elders. I mean, and that's all I got.
Well, I'm just going to say that, again, you have to appreciate the smaller things in life. And you have to understand that in life, we all go through adversities. Yeah. We all going to go through something. There's nobody walked this earth that didn't have any kind of problems or obstacles in the way. That is normal until we realize that is normal. So out of everything that's bad that's happened to you, there's always something good, right? You may have broken out, like for example, a person might have had a flat tire, but guess what? You might have had a spare tire, or somebody helped you with a tire, but you got through it, right? Your day was going bad, but when you got to work or when you got home, you made it. You made it safe. If you listen to this, you made it safe. You understand what I'm saying? So out of every bad, there's something good. So on that note, we out.
Peace.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Until next time.
Until next time. That was good.